Okay, so these are the questions in the second 6 weeks test, and we're just going to go over each one individually and just see where there's any problems or concerns with the questions. Okay, number one, it says, in a chemical reaction, it is the action of the blank that are responsible for the changes that take place. Okay, what part of the atom is responsible for creating compounds or breaking apart in a reaction? What's our answer for that one? It's definitely electrons. So the electrons are, more specifically, it's the valence electrons, those in the outer ring, that cause compounds to either form or break apart in a reaction. Okay, number two, it says the formula for glucose is C6H12O6. How many elements does glucose contain? If you notice, this is elements, not atoms. So there's a carbon, there's a hydrogen, and there's an oxygen. So our answer we were looking for was 3. Okay. Okay, number 3 says CH4 is an example of what? Well, we notice that there's more than one atom attached to each other, and it's not going through any kind of reaction, so what would the right answer be? Chemical formula. Just like H2O tells me what makes up a molecule of water. Okay, number 4. New substances formed during a chemical reaction are indicated. So saying new substances, if you remember, we have an arrow that separates what's going on, or what we need for the reaction and what happens after the reaction. What are the stuff on the left side called? The reactants. And what's the stuff on the right side called? Okay, products. So which statement on number 4 answers the question correctly? J. On the right side of the equation, and are called products. And number 5, C3H5, NO3 in parentheses, and then 3 on the outside of the parentheses, is an interesting multi-purpose chemical compound. Nitroglycerin, also called nitro, is a heavy, colorless, poisonous, oily explosive. As a prescribed drug, it helps relax and dilate blood vessels and is often used in treating chest pain. It is also used in the manufacture of explosives, specifically dynamite, and is frequently used in construction and demolition projects. How many atoms of oxygen are in a molecule of nitroglycerin? So it's saying how many atoms of oxygen, so right here. You notice the oxygen has a subscript 3, so we know there's 3 oxygens, but it also has a subscript outside the parentheses of a 3 also that affects it. So what do we do with those 2 3's? You multiply them. So our answer will be what? 9. Okay, any questions so far with the first page here? Are y'all good? Okay, let's go on to the second page. Okay, question number 6. Which of the activities would require the use of goggles, aprons, and gloves? What did you guys come up with? Okay, so J. Okay, the reason why J is the best answer, if we look at F, it says creating a model of DNA. Well, that can simply be done with using marshmallows and toothpicks or something, so something pretty non-dangerous to your eyes. G was measuring the density of a sample of granite. You're just using a triple beam balance, so goggles are not necessary. And then H, comparing how fast cars roll down a ramp. So that's just like a speed problem. Wouldn't require goggles. So anytime we use glassware or we use chemicals, we're going to use goggles. Number 7. In a comparison of metals to nonmetals, metals tend to have what? What did y'all put as your answer for 7?
C.
C. So it says, in comparison of metals to nonmetals, metals tend to have what? Greater conductivity and higher melting points than nonmetals, meaning it's going to take more energy to get them to melt. That's true. And they also conduct electricity or heat better, so C is our right answer. Okay, let's look at the next question. Okay, number 8. What is true about elements P, Q, R, and S? If you notice, they're right here. So what is true about those guys? Yeah, our periods go left to right, so it's going to be this one here. Groups go down, so these would be groups here. That's not the one they're asking about. They're all nonmetals. That's untrue. Everything on the left side of the zigzag line would be metals. There's a zigzag line right around here somewhere. So these are all metals. The only one that's not is hydrogen, which is right there. They are nonmetals. No, these are the nonmetals on this side. And then they're all gases. No, everything on the left side is a metal, and they're solids except for mercury, and of course hydrogen, which is that one we circled here. He's a gas. Okay. Okay, next question. The majority of the elements in the periodic table belong to which group? Gases, metals, nonmetals, or lithionides? Well, these are the lithionides right here. Where are the nonmetals?
On the right side.
Over here. These are the nonmetals. Where are gases at? Is there one specific spot we find gases? Not so much. We know group 18 is gases, but there's also some gases in here. You know that's a gas. But what is the majority of the table going to be? Right here. Majority are metals. So that's the answer. Number 10. When an object is acted on by an unbalanced force, the object will do what? Accelerate. H. An unbalanced force causes it to either speed up or slow down. Well, there's a term for that, and that's acceleration. Okay? Okay, question 10. Or question 11. Shows this girl hanging from a swing off of a limb of a tree. It says the swing shown above is attached to a tree with knots. When a person sits on the swing, which of the following forces helps keep the swing from falling? What you guys put? Tension in the rope. So that tension, it's like pulling a string real tight. It prevents it from falling to the ground, so the tension holds the girl up. Okay, number 12. John is an outstanding forward on his club's select soccer team. He is known for his ball control and speed. After a game, he often makes a sketch of moves that were successful. The dotted line of his sketch shows the direction of the ball moving when he kicked it. The direction of his kick is the solid arrow. So this arrow right here shows which way he kicked it. So how did the motion of the ball change when John kicked it? This kind of goes with Newton's second law. So what did you guys put? H. The ball changed direction and its speed increased. That is correct. It had new energy that went to the ball. The energy was overcoming the forward motion of the ball because he kicked it so hard. And of course it's going to speed up and go the opposite direction. Okay, question 13. This is a highly missed question. This represents a little bit about our speed of our static race cans, or the cans that we did. It was kind of like that lab, but if you notice this is going at an accelerated rate. It means that the can, whatever it is we're measuring here, started at 0, but continues to move at a rate of speed that continues to go. So it says to determine the speed based on the graph. So all you had to do is find a point on the graph to use. So let's come out here from 20 and see where it hits the point. Once we hit 20, we come down. What is our speed or what is our time right there? Okay, so this is 4 right here, and this is 20 here. So remember, speed equals distance divided by time. So my distance in that particular spot was 20 meters, and it's divided by 4 seconds. So our answer is 5 meters per second. We would have got that anywhere on the graph if we would have come out and done the same thing. So our answer is 5 meters per second. Any questions on that one? Quite a few people missed it just because they weren't too sure how to work that, okay? I did an example of this in the 6 weeks review video on YouTube, and also had an example in class before the test. Okay, 14. A student throws a ball to a friend. Which of the following causes the ball to fall downward? What would our answer be there? Gravitational pull of Earth. Okay, just remember that gravity is a result of the mass of an object. Everything has gravity, but it's not till we get to really big stuff that the gravity starts showing up. So like planet size. It's the reason why if you go to the moon, you weigh 1/6 the weight you weigh here on Earth. It's because it takes 6 moons to equal the same size of Earth. Okay? Okay, question number 15. What object's motion would most likely be represented by the graph? You notice it starts at 0 and continues to move at an acceleration moving upwards. So the movement of a football being thrown down the field, would that be the right answer? Do y'all think? No, because that would actually show as it sped up and then it started to slow down. So that would be how the football would look. How about an airplane touching down on a runway? No, that means it would be slowing down, so we'd see something like this. Okay? But we see something like this, it's going straight up. So we're left with the last one. The movement of a car at the start of a race. Yes, it went from 0 and kept speeding upwards. Okay. Number 16. Limestone is a common form of calcium carbonate. When limestone is subjected to high heat, it becomes calcium oxide and releases carbon dioxide gas. So it's representing a chemical reaction happening. This change in limestone at a given temperature is an example of what? What answer did you guys get? G, a chemical change like the rusting of iron. That is true. F is out because it's talking about a physical change. H, an igneous change like the melting of a rock in a volcano. No, that's not just melting. J, a reversible change such as hardening, melting butter. No, that's just a phase change there. 17. Which of the following is one way that compounds are formed? What's a way that we could form a new compound? Okay, sharing electrons. It's always how compounds are formed or how compounds are broken. Okay, 18. 18 has a table for the element potassium. It says its boiling point is 760 degrees Celsius. Is that a physical or a chemical item? Is that a physical or chemical property? The first one, boiling point.
Physical.
That's physical. How about number 2, a soft silvery white? Physical or chemical? Physical. Okay, number 3, oxidizes rapidly in air. It's chemical. Okay, density is 0.26 grams per cubic centimeter. So how much mass it has? What would that be? Physical. Okay, melting point 63.2 degrees Celsius. That physical or chemical? Okay, physical. Okay, conducts heat and electricity. Is that physical or chemical? Physical, good. Now, if you remember, we went over all these before the 6 weeks test. Catches fire spontaneously when exposed to water. It's chemical. So then it says which list includes chemical properties. So we had number 3 and number 7. So H is our answer. Any questions on that one? I know quite a few people missed it just because they think that sometimes melting or boiling is a chemical property. It's actually physical. Okay, 19, it says, Drew added yeast and sugar to lukewarm water and placed it in a flask. He stretched a balloon over the opening of the flask. After several minutes, he noticed small bubbles rising along the sides of the flask as the balloon slowly began to inflate. Drew concluded that what? What was going on? Okay, so B, the bubbles indicated a chemical change. Good. Okay, number 20. An electrically neutral atom consists of 15 neutrons, 13 electrons, and a number of protons. What is its mass number? So what is it in the atom that we measure for mass? Okay, good. So protons and neutrons are the mass. Well, how many protons did it have?
13.
How do you know it's 13?
Because it's the same number as the electrons.
Okay, because it's neutral, the 13 electrons, which are negative, means we must have 13 protons also, since it is neutral. Okay, so we also have to add the neutrons to that. How many neutrons do we have? 15. So when we add them together, we get the number 28. So H is our answer. Any troubles there? Okay. Okay, moving on to the next question. It says, what element is represented in this model? The atomic number is 3. What are we looking for when we see the atomic number is 3? What part of the atom will tell us 3? The protons. So we're looking for the atomic number 3. So atomic number equals 3. So when you look that up on the periodic table, what's our answer? Lithium. So all you're doing is the atomic number. So in this question it says, which of these atoms has the least mass? Somebody that knows how we figure this out, let me know. What do we look for mass of an atom?
Protons and neutrons.
Protons and neutrons. So where are they located?
The nucleus.
The nucleus. So we just got to count up what's here. How many atoms do you see in that first one?
8.
So there's 8. So this is an 8 AMU, atomic mass unit. So right here, we just count that up. How about the second one?
7.
Okay, we got 7 AMU here. What do we got on the last one?
6.
Okay, we count this up. We got 6 AMU. So what's our answer?
H.
H. He's got the least mass. Okay, next one. Okay, this question says, elements in group 18 are known as the noble gases. What makes these elements unlikely to react? So these guys right here in group 18. The number and placement of the protons, is that what we're looking for?
No.
Nope. The number of isotopes of the atom? No. Remember, isotopes are just fewer or more neutrons than a normal one. C, the number and placement of the electrons.
Yes.
Okay, that looks like a possibility. Let's go ahead and look at D. The number of neutrons in the nucleus of the atom. No. Remember, the electrons, if it has a full outer ring, then it's not going to react with other atoms, and all of those in group 18 have that. So all of the atoms have a full energy shell. Okay, 24. Which of the following equation follows the law of conservation of mass? So it wants to know which equations have the same number and type of atoms on both sides of the equation. Well, if we look at F, it has 2 irons. This one has 2 irons. This one has 6 oxygens. This one only has 3. Does that balance?
No.
No, it's out. Okay, G has 2 H's. This one, that 2 affects this H, so it also has 2 H's. This has 2 O's. That 2 affects that O, so it also has 2 O's. Does that balance?
Yes.
This one does. Let's keep looking. 2 Mg. This one has 1 Mg. It already does not balance. This one has 1 chlorine. This one has 2, so it's out. Okay, J, 1 carbon. Over here, 2 carbon. It's already messed up. Hydrogen has 4. This one has 4 hydrogens. That's okay. 6 oxygen. Well, there's 2 here, and we have, or actually, there's 4 there, and we have 2 here, so that's 6. So it's it still doesn't balance though. So the only answer that balances is G. Okay, 25. Which set of coefficients would balance the following equation? We got to count them up. On this side, we have hydrogens and oxygens. Hydrogens and oxygens. How many hydrogens do I have on the left side right now?
1.
2. Okay, there's 2. How many oxygens? 1. On the right side, how many hydrogens? 2. On the right, how many oxygens on the right side? 2. So we can only go up, so the one on the left has to go up with the oxygens. What can I put in front of the H2O to make it go up? So if we put a 2 here, that changes my hydrogen to 4. What are my oxygens now? 2. On the right side, now I've got 2 hydrogens, I need 4. What can I put in front of the hydrogen? 2. So that makes that 4. Oxygen's good at 2, so what can I put in that blank to keep it 2? A 1. So I'm looking for the answer 221. C has that answer choice, that's what I'm going for. Okay. 26. In the following chemical equation, which symbol represents a single atom? So we have Mn, O2, K2O, and 2K. Which one is just a single atom? Mn. And this one has 2 oxygens, it's out. This has 2 potassiums, the oxygen, it's out. This is 2 potassium, it's out. Okay, on this one it says, how many copper atoms are there in a CuNO3 2 situations? So I'm just looking for copper. Okay, just the copper, the Cu. So what's the coefficient that's in front of Cu? A 1, because I don't really have anything showing up there. So it's going to be just 1. Okay? Okay, 28. Which of the following lists all the products of the reaction shown above? Where are the products going to be, on the left or right side of the arrow? Over here. So if I find something that lists all those, Na2, SO4, and H2O2, then I've got it. Right now, it looks like which answer is my answer?
J.
J. Na2SO4 and H2O2. That is correct. Okay, 29. This was kind of one thrown at you to see if you could figure out what was going on. You have H2O and something in parentheses with an S, and then on the right side in your products you have H2O with something with an L. So what do you think is going on there? It's melting. It went from a solid to a liquid. So which answer would describe that? Yeah, C. Water is undergoing a phase change from a solid to a liquid. You didn't see the atoms break apart. Number 30. In the equation above, what is the coefficient of the oxygen molecule? So right here. What's my coefficient when I don't see one? It's a 1. Okay, number 31. NaH plus HCl, NaCl plus H2O. There's actually a arrow right here. Sorry, it didn't print correctly, but you probably should have seen something different based on our answers. And identify the reactants in the chemical equation above. So what's on the left side? Yep, NaOH and HCl, so A is our answer. Okay, next question. It says S8 plus 12O2 and 8SO3. The chemical equation above, the large number in front of the 12O2, so right here, the 12, represents what? What do y'all think on that one? F, the number of molecules. Okay, good. Now that equation looks kind of weird. I don't think it was written correct, but it was from one of the bank questions we had. And this one, I had to write in the equation on your copy. It's CO2, actually 6 CO2, plus we're going to also have water, so 6 water, H2O, yields C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Basically, that's the photosynthesis reaction. How many elements does carbon dioxide contain? Carbon dioxide is right here, and it says elements. So what's my answer? Just 2. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, for you guys watching this on YouTube, if you have questions on this review, just shoot me an email, post a comment, I'll reply back to you, or see me in class and we'll talk about it, okay?